This is Author Talk, presented by Author House, the leading provider of services to help authors publish, promote, and sell their books around the world. Author Talk is a show about new books and the authors who wrote them. It's an opportunity for prospective readers to hear directly from the writers, to hear what inspired them to write and publish, and to hear all the inside details about their books. Here is Author Talk with host Steve Jergeson.
The title of the book, Radical Islam, The Battle for the Americas, with a subtitle, Tales of the Last Americans, The Complete Saga of a World at War. And the author is Michelangelo, and he joins us now on Author Talk. Hello, Michelangelo.
Hey, Steve.
Well,
and from the east, all to this one place, the Valley of the Dead in New Mexico, to have a confrontation, an epic battle against General Chavez and his massive army. When we get there, we meet up with these guys from Texas, these guys from Canada. They all here because there's no radio, there's no nothing. We've been doing Morse code, something these knuckleheads don't even know about. But we've been doing Morse code, and they've been hearing, so they've been marching to meet us all there. And now we're once again a massive army of Americans, South Americans, Central Americans, North Americans, Northern Americans, right there in the Nevada, and we cross over into Arizona to the Grand Canyon, and we have it's an epic battle. I'm not going to tell you what happens at that battle, but we have to march back to New York. It was a promise, and so we march back, and as we march, we go into Washington, D.C., where we find the vice president underground, hidden, where he's been hidden for 20 years. And then we continue our march to New York for the final epic battle in the city. And it's
like an Armageddon.
Yes, but I'm writing another part called The World of War, and it's going to all this. As this story ends here in New York, our children are going overseas and to fight these battles, against Islam on Europe again, And when in this new story, you'll see how the Europeans and Israelis, whoever's left, from their undergrounds are going to come out, and we're going to have a massive battle in Armageddon, the land of Armageddon. It's a continued story, but this story here, that's why it starts off the invasion. I wrote
and that's an invasion of radical Islam.
Right, but the first chapter is called Radical Islam, the invasion. And it tells you how radicals are going to, because of our blind eye and scared politics, because of, like you said, if you see today, President Obama and is talking to all these crazy people, he wants to hang out with Iran, he wants to hang out with Russia, and now he wants to talk with the guy from England, Mr. Brown, and their world order, So it's crazy. The book is a fiction of our non-fictional world. There's a lot of things happening in this book, and a lot of things and I feel like all Americans, all people should really read because, it's before us right now. A world invasion could come, and this is how a world invasion could happen in America today. With President Obama and his bailouts, people losing jobs, chaos only begets chaos. And when people are going crazy in the streets, Obama's going to reach out to Iran and to all these countries for support. I can see it, and we're gonna bail out Iran pretty soon. We're gonna say, here's $23 billion. Don't blow us up because they got nuclear weapons, or almost have. And as soon as they're ready, 2012, they're gonna threaten us. And with all the chaos going on in America, I could see that President Obama offering him $23 billion from where, who knows, not to blow up the world. You know, that's, you know, we're already beginning to be enslaved. That's what all this is about. To be enslaved, being Americans, you know, to be enslaved, that's not who we are. You know, the government, you know, these guys acting like the King George of England when he taxed us to the fullest. And that's why we threw the Tea Party. You know?
We have a couple minutes left. Michelangelo, in your description of your book, you talk about the book, the words describing the book of heart, honor, and hope. So there is hope in your book, too.
Right. That's who we are. We're heart. Because we give to the world. We protect the world. We're honor. Because we are honorable to who we are. And hope. Hope that in case the craziest thing happens, we, Americans, stand for truth and righteousness, what our flag stands for.
We the people.
We the people. Because that's where it's at. We the people. We are the hope. You know, and when all hell breaks loose, you know, we're going to be hoping for God again. You know? My mother always said, when you're injured and crying and when things seem hopeless, you pray for God, you know, just for the hope. You know, like our brothers did in the first battle for the Americas, as they stood on the frozen lakes of the Delaware, and George Washington prayed amongst the Minutemen, and he said, you know, those words of hope, that God will bring us through this, you know, and bring us victory. That's what we have. That's who we are. You know, we're the country of Christ believers, you know. That brings hope of God.
How do we get your book, Michelangelo?
Oh, my book right now is, you can get it at authorhouse.com. You can go to their bookstore, and the book ID is 56586, or just punch in my name, Michelangelo, and it should come right up. And I'm at Amazon, and it should be on there. And you'll see in Amazon, there's another book there called Battle for the Americas, you know, which was the last part of this book that I wrote first. You know, because that's, when I first wrote the book, people thought I was crazy. So I had to continue and write the whole book so that people could know how we could be invaded, you know.
Well, we want to thank you for explaining your book on Author Talk.
No, thank you. And God bless. Live well. Die free.
That was Michelangelo. He is the author of his book, Radical Islam, The Battle for the Americas. Tales of the Last Americans, the complete saga of a world at war.